What about love, Abraham? What if I haven't had anyone for a long time and in my life, and I want that ideal perfect relationship that may or may not really exist on this plane? And
There are two things that are hanging you up, and we're going to explain to you clearly what both of them are. The first is the flawed premise that there is a perfect relationship, and this is why. Because the perfect relationship, you got ready, and now it's perfect and all the flavors chewed out of that gum. Because a perfect relationship is a relationship that continues to put more potential into the vortex so that there is steady new realization. A perfect relationship has enough contrast within it to keep both asking for more and each in vibrational alignment so that they realize the new that is coming, so that it's always fresh and always new. So the flawed premise is that you need to find one already perfect instead of realizing that you will continue to become it together, you see. Isn't that nice to know?
yeah, that is nice to know.
The other, and we touched on it just a little bit yesterday as we were reveling in the magnificence of the whales who came out to play. And we want you to feel like, because it is true, that the seas are awash in magnificent beasts that are willing to show themselves to you. We want you to accept that the world is awash in money, that you may become a vibrational match to. And the world is awash in partners eager to find one another. Don't make it a rare thing that makes you a master in order to see it. Let it be so plentiful that you can just bumble and stumble your way into joyful manifestation moment after moment after moment after moment. Let your joyful bliss and your awareness of the abundance of it, just let it come to you and keep coming to you and keep coming to you and keep coming to you. Don't make it rare, which causes you to doubt. That was big. Because every time you've lived something that caused you to ask for a little bit of this or a little bit of this or a little bit of this, some companionship or a good conversation or someone to share a meal with or someone to continue a lifetime joke with or. There are all of these wonderful things that are part of these relationships. And as you move through your day, and you have been for a while, you've been creating this relationship, but in the process of it. Because so often humans are knowing what they're asking for and also noticing that it hasn't come yet. You started to say that and we kind of cut you off. So you put a desire and an equal resistant thought in there together. And when you begin to notice the abundance of resistant thoughts, then you understand why it's taking longer than it needs to. It's only the resistant thoughts. And resistant thoughts start with people saying, oh, well, they're hard to come by, or perfect relationships are hard to find. And that is not true. You have the ability. You've created it in your vortex. So it is a reality that is real. It's a done deal. All you have to do is relax and allow yourself to be led to it, and not to demand that the universe take you right to it right this red hot minute, in the same way that the farmer would not stomp on the ground and demand that the corn come up now and give him some ears. There is an understanding of the process that is very helpful.
Felt like for a while that, especially listening to you, that I just don't think about that very much at all. And I wonder if I don't think about it at all because it's a wall
Maybe.
blocking disappointment or
Maybe
something.
if you don't think about it because it's unpleasant to think about it. And if your only choice is to feel unpleasant when you think about it or not think about it, we would say don't think about it.
Right.
But this leads us into a conversation that we really want to have with this room full of very powerful and deliberate creators. Because you got to wonder. So we say you create your own reality, and then we say just chill and don't think about that much. Then we say, get into the receiving mode. And then we explain to you, you have already created it. You've already created it. In other words, step 1 caused you to ask for it. And step 2 caused it to become a vibrational reality. So it is already done. And you just have to put the finishing touches on by becoming a vibrational match to it. But there's another piece of this that you've just introduced into the conversation that is such an important conversation to have. And that is, so I am the creator of my own experience, and I do accept that this vibrational reality is real and that it exists. And isn't there some value in my now focusing what's in my vortex? And we say, if you can feel good while you anticipate the unfolding of what's in your vortex, then that is such a lovely way to live. Because when you start letting yourself think about this lovely relationship that is unfolding, a lot of that thinking, it moves from your wanting to think about it, your willingness to think about it, and your receiving the thoughts. So visualizations begin happening. You begin having dreams even while you're sleeping. In other words, all kinds of manifestations. Dreams are manifestations too. All kinds of things begin to occur to you. But it's such a lovely thing. Creation gets really, really fun when you know that you are the creator, when you know that stuff is already created, when you know that all you've got to do is cue yourself up and be in the vibrational vicinity of the creation, and then you are joyful in your hearing and adding to, and hearing and adding to. Do you know the best life, the very best life? I have to start in a new place. So when you're sifting through this contrast, as we've been demonstrating all week long, that's a strong asking, usually with some resistance involved. And then there's this vortex with all of these things that you want. But when you begin meditating, making lists of positive aspects, and occasionally, often, frequently, getting on rampages of appreciation, so that you're feeling good much of the time, then you can ask and receive, ask and receive, ask and receive, ask and receive. You can begin playing this game of, wouldn't it be nice if? Well, wouldn't it be nice if? And when the answer to the wouldn't be nice if is good feeling, not bad. In other words, if you say, wouldn't it be nice if I had somebody to go to dinner with tonight? Not what we're talking about. It's the, wouldn't it be nice if when I turn the corner I have this interaction with something or someone. In other words, it's that anticipation. Wouldn't it be nice if? Wouldn't it be nice if? That's just such a lovely vibration to be in. It's satisfied with what is and an eagerness for more. And that not only brings you what you want, so that you are ready to be ready to be ready to be ready to have this relationship that you're wanting, but every moment is filled with some aspect of that becoming, which can begin to feel so good and can begin to satisfy so many intentions that you might say, hey, I'm happy to always be ready, to be ready, to be ready, to be ready, to be ready. There needs to be no ending point to this. Ready, to be 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 ready. There doesn't ever need to be a, oh, it's now done, because really, it never is done. You're not ever going to get it done. And so, what difference does it make whether you're ready to be ready here or whether you're ready to be ready over here? Readiness to be ready feels good and now is fun. But when you say, no, not fun till that happens, then that can happen. But fun, even though that hasn't happened, yeah, still fun, even though that hasn't happened. Still really fun, even though that hasn't happened. Really, really fun, even though that hasn't happened. So fun, that doesn't need to happen. Happens. So fun, feeling so good that I don't have any lackful attachment to this condition in order to feel good. Now you're living happily ever after. Yeah. Enough?
So that hasn't felt good before, so I stopped thinking about it. But I don't have to worry about that anymore because I'm over here
That
now.
was before we had this conversation.
Yeah, right.
That was then. And that's why we don't want you to go back. That's old stuff. Explaining, well, I feel now because is like unnecessary and not all that helpful. But wouldn't it be nice if? That's a whole different vibrational stance, isn't it? There's a eager, optimistic, looking, and there's an asking in that, isn't there? Wouldn't it be nice if? Wouldn't it be nice if? Esther says, because for a long time, she didn't quite get this one piece. Because she believed that she understood that she is the creator of her own reality. We talked about that for enough years that she believed that she was getting that. And she began to understand rather clearly what being in the receptive mode is. But then she began wondering when she would hear us say, and the universe will surprise and delight you. And she would think, well, how can it surprise me when I put it all in there? I know everything I've asked for. So really, how big can this surprise be? And we say, you have no idea the infinite resources and the infinite ability to tie these things together and deliver them to you in ways and timing that you least expect it. When you get into that vibrational place where you're not dictating every detail, but you're open to the infinite intelligence of this magnificent creating that we are all a part of. So when we say, you create your own reality, hear this. You create your own reality, but who is the you that we are talking about? Well, it's the you who came forth into this personality, and it's the you from which you have come, and it's the you standing here in this personality, and it's the you who is your inner being, and it's all of the yous that the universe has brought the cooperative components to. In other words, you create your own reality, but you in your physical body can only focus upon what you're doing with your mental personality, thoughts in any moment in time. And when you accept that you are all of this and that your now in this moment part in all of this is to radiate your joy as far as you can in any moment in time, and that's what your quest is, and that's what you become good at. Step 1, you ask. Step 2, source answer. Step 3, you're in the receiving mode. Step 4, you are the master of that. You're really, 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 really good at that. And step 5 is you're so good at it that when you slip back into step 1, you don't even care because you know that that's what the process is. Jerry wanted to put on the spine of all the books, self-help from your total self. Because he wanted you to get the sense that we are really all in this together. And so your inner being is playing your inner being's part. Source is playing the part of source. All the cooperative components are playing the part of all the cooperative components. And your part is just to chill as much as you can chill and positively anticipate as much as you can positively anticipate. And be awake. Get out of bed. Get out there where the world is. Be alive in the world. Be eager in the world. Be accessible to source energy to put you in the right place at the right time with a never-ending stream of inspiration and impulse.
That's a good suggestion. And don't forget about the fairies of the universe. I love that part of the service.
Oh, the fairies of the universe. The fairies of the universe, all of these cooperative components, all these balanced counterparts. For every desire you have, there is an answer to it out there in the world. And they're already hooked up. All you got to do is hook up. And all that your vortex is already hooked up will then stream into your experience.
Thank you so much.
Really good. Really, really good. Really good.